Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm just so grateful to be here with you today. And hopefully, we just did a new fancy um, video. And so I'm hoping that you guys are all able to see it. And, I'm just so grateful to have you here today. So let me know where you're coming in from and where you are on your journey of wellness. That would be super helpful to me. And just let me know. I'm trying to get to the comments right now. And just let me know what's like happening, right? Like what's happening in your world. So, I am Dr. Holly Donahue, and I am a root cause doctor, getting to the root cause of what's happening for your health. And it's really key to go and really do a deep dive on what actually is happening in your health and really like connect. And so I'm sharing tips and strategies and techniques that will hopefully help you think about like that could be me, right? And like that could be something that I could I could use support around. So today I want to talk about you being exhausted after exercise and that you're moving the wrong way for your nervous system. So I, as an online in the online space and in my clinic, I run a full-time clinic, Cura Natural. I help high achievers and leaders and change makers really heal from chronic fatigue, burnout, and hormonal imbalances. And we really do a deep dive into addressing like what's going on underneath the surface, like a deep dive on what's actually happening. So this weekly show is really your space to take back your health and your energy. And I see so many high achievers, goal-oriented individuals coming in and they're still exhausted. Even though they're working out, they're eating really well, they're doing everything, but they're still, really struggling with true energy when they wake up in the morning. So let me ask you something real. Have you ever have you ever pushed yourself through a workout only to crash hours later? Or maybe you've done everything right. You've done cardio, you've done HIIT, which is the high intensity interval training, weights, but your sleep is still wrecked. You wake up and your belly's still bloated and your stress is through the roof. I want to share with you right here, like really listen deeply here that you're not lazy. You're not doing it wrong. You're just moving and creating this like overachieving, overloading nervous system. So when I say the nervous system, it's easily thrown around there. Stress is easily thrown a lot around. So I want to explain to you what I mean by that. So we're looking at sympathetic and we're looking at parasympathetic. Remember, the sympathetic is the go, 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 the push, 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 the fight or flight, that sort of energy. The parasympathetic is the rest, the digest, the restore. Okay, so your nervous system cannot heal when it's constantly in overdrive. So if we look at exercises that push that sympathetic, that fight or flight, push drive state, those exercises are like high intensity interval training, long cardio, running long distances, and just pushing through your fatigue because you committed and you're going to get it done, right? And I love the commitment part of it, but are you truly stepping back and listening to your body? The parasympathetic is the rest and digest, like we talked about in the restore. So I bet as brilliant as you are as a goal-oriented individual and a leader in your life, you can think about, okay, so my parasympathetic exercises would be more like gentle walking, when I'm breathing. Maybe it's like stretching and elongating those muscles that many of us don't do. We're like sitting in this like tense state, right? Like I have to remember like, I was working with my personal trainer the other day and she's like, just stretch your whole body, and it's a gentle reminder for me as well. So I get to learn when I support you. And then weights with rest. Like if you're lifting weights and then you're pushing, like you can lift as hard as you lift, and then you give yourself like a break in between. That those are the difference of the exercises that we're really looking at, so you can kind of understand the difference. On another note, cortisol and overtraining can go hand in hand. So your harsh movement, those burpees, that hit training, it can spike cortisol in a good way if your body's regulated. But if you're chronically overtraining and chronically in stress, that's when we start to lead into like inflammation. Our cortisol becomes imbalanced and our sleep is disrupted. And long term, that can lead to burnout. So, that pain, like that no pain, no gain myth, when your adrenals are already on overdrive, that's when the problem really starts to kick in for yourself, right? So it's that your adrenals, they really need some downtime, right? So remember, cortisol is not elevated, but it's up here in the morning and it drops off in around 2 to 3 p.m. We have a little blip and then it drops off at night and it says, okay, Dr. Donnie, it's time to go to sleep. Then melatonin comes in and that's kind of your yin hormone. And now it's time to go to sleep. So, how do we heal with movement? We want to think about movement as your medicine. So you want a balance in the different types of exercises that you're doing, and you might want to check in with yourself. So today, I'll be honest, there's a lot going on in my life right now, personally with my family. And so I woke up tired today, but today was my day to lift heavy and do hard cardio. So I pivoted and I did a gentle 40-minute walk instead. So thinking about where you're at can truly help you choose your exercise. So just because you set up this strategy, but if you're completely exhausted, I don't want you to push through that strategy. Does that make sense? So think about and say yes in the comments so that I know. Like think about restorative yoga, like nature walks, like connecting to a tree, touching a tree, like being out in nature or enjoying the beautiful meadows or the flowers. Or I love to go on a trail and go hiking and just, find my way through the woods and end up like over little bridges where like there's water. And so that really is grounding to me. And I'm fortunate because I created my life that we have a park nearby that I actually get to create that energy if I have that time to go for a walk nearby. And then if you do strength training, take some breaks, right? So I could have opted for that today, but I chose a different route. And then you want to breathe connected with your movement. So what does that mean? When you're actually contracting your muscles, you're exhaling with exertion. That's how my trainer taught me a while ago. It's like you exhale with exertion. So if you're going to do a chest press, when you come up, you're going to exhale out. That's exertion, right? If you're going to do a push up, pushing up, that's your exertion. So you want to inhale and exhale and really breathe through your exercise. So drop me in the chat if you have truly been feeling wired but tired, because I want to know, I want to help you. And this is why we're doing this live and really connecting. And I want to know where you're at. So tell me, or even write it down, because if you're shy and you don't want to respond, that's fine, because there's so many of you on right now. Tell me, what kind of movement have you been doing lately? Like, what is that? What is working for you and allowing you to move, feel like you moved your body, but then rest? Then the next step is, after you actually do your movement, have you been crashing after your workout? Like, are you exhausted after your workout or do you feel re-energized? Right? So it's our energy throughout the day that we want to be connected to. It's not only when we need to be on, right? So my energy is a little low today, and that's to be expected. So I'm giving myself grace and I'm showing up real. So be conscientious of what's happening in your body and like what your body needs. And think about really pausing to connect and reflect and acknowledge what your body's saying to you. And just like me, I used to do this. This is why I can support you and teach it. I used to just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. But that's really not in the real transformation of healing. You don't need more willpower. You need more nervous system awareness of where you're really at and your exhaustion. Because when you really truly learn how to move with your hormones and not against them, your body is going to stop fighting back. Your belly will stop being bloated as long as your digestive enzymes are in check and you're not eating things that are either allergy causing to you that you might not know. And if you continually like you get into a really good space and you're feeling grounded and rested and sleeping through the night, but you're still feeling bloated, please get that checked out. There could be bacteria or fungal infection or something going on in your gut that really needs support. So you really, if your belly becomes calm and your sleep really restores, and when you go to bed at night, you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, you're feeling regenerated in the morning. And when your feet hit the floor, you're not, kind of pushing through, you're really getting through. And what then begins to happen at that point is your energy stabilizes. So this is really what healing looks like from the inside out. So come deeper with me if you're loving this conversation. One of the communities that I have been so joyful in teaching, and I went live yesterday on like shifting your identity for healing. That's so important. And I just met with a patient and did cranial sacral on her, and we had this deep conversation about changing our identity and who are we being, right? So I have a community called Pocket Doc, and we talk about different systems and healing, and maybe it's herbs, maybe it's movement, maybe it's cardiovascular, maybe it's adrenals, sleep. Like I'm giving you what I actually share in the community, and it's so fun. It's so fun for me because this is how you get to get your body back naturally, right? And so we have a community of individuals that really show up. I show up live twice a month, and I really teach into deep levels. And then you get a handout once a week as well. And then in the community, we share what's coming up for us and like what individuals need support on. And so it's really, I'm inviting you to that. Let me drop the link in the chat. I'm just really being called to share this with you. And it's just been such a great community that I've created here. And, people are loving it, and we get to support one another in their journey. And like, if you're struggling with something, I often like ask, I'm like, what do you guys want to hear about so that I can support you? So click the link, I put it in the comments, and this will help you take your healing to the next level so that you get to continue to have your goals. Like that vision is important, but being connected to your body and taking your healing to the next level, it's really nervous system stress and regulation balancing, nervous system regulation balancing for yourself, because you get to stop pushing through, because your body is going to show up with you and you're going to have better ideas. And when you're in more of a healed state, and when you start honoring your nervous system's needs, like, okay, I've got enough energy, so let's like drive our heart rate up, let's increase our cortisol because this is where I'm at right now. Great, go for it, do it, because cardio is important, HIIT is important, burpees or push-ups or jumping jacks or whatever gets your heart rate going. That's important. But the most important piece is when you do it. We also talk about when to exercise during, being as a woman, when to exercise through your cycle, like when to build muscle, when to do cardio, and what that gets to look like, and what you want to eat to support your body. So as you begin to really think about, as we get off this live, and I'm so grateful to have each and every one of you, because the reality is we're never getting this 20 minutes back again in our life, right? You don't need to burn out to be healthy. You really don't. You just want to create a rhythm that works for you, a new rhythm, but a circadian rhythm, which is your cycles of your body, your energy, your being. Like, we are vibrational beings. And when we disrupt that consistently, it plays havoc on our soul and our heart and really our body over time. So as you learn this new rhythm, and if you want to come and walk on that healing path with me, click on the link to join Pocket Doc. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of my team. And I brought it up as an invitation because I really want you to start healing. And, the more that you kind of take in and work with an individual like myself, that's really when the true healing begins. Does that make sense? Are there any questions that I can answer at all that will help support? For those of you that are still on live with me, I'll just wait a few minutes and see. Okay, so no questions. I'm sending you all so much love. And remember, your nervous system needs love. It needs quiet. It needs gentle. And I know I get to give myself some extra gentle connection tonight and keep myself really balanced and hydrate more, and even probably take a magnesium chloride bath for myself because there's just been a lot. All right. I'm sending you so much love, and enjoy the rest of the day.